It took exactly 4 seconds for Elena to destroy a 12-year marriage, not with a scream, not with a scandalous affair, but with a single, silent decision she was convinced would save them. Most people think the biggest threat to a marriage is what you do wrong, but they're wrong. The single biggest misstep, the one that sabotages a home beyond repair, is what you do when you're terrified of being hurt. Elena and Julian. To the outside world, they were the anchor couple. They were the ones friends called when their own relationships were falling apart. Julian was an architect, meticulous, quiet, and stable. Elena was a freelance illustrator, vibrant, intuitive, and deeply emotional. They had the house with the wraparound porch. They had the shared Sunday morning coffee ritual. But like so many marriages that look perfect on paper, there was a slow-growing rot beneath the floorboards. Over the last year, Julian had become distant. It wasn't that he was mean, it was that he was absent. The long hours at the office grew longer. The vibrant conversations about their future were replaced with logistical check-ins about the mortgage and the grocery list. Elena felt the shift. It's that cold, hollow feeling in your chest when you're lying right next to the person you love, and you've never felt more alone. She started to wonder, and in a marriage, wondering is a dangerous game. She told herself she was just being observant. She noticed he started taking his phone into the shower. She noticed he'd tilt the screen away when he was texting. Small things, tiny cracks. But Elena didn't reach out to bridge the gap. Instead, she started building a wall. The first turning point happened on a Tuesday. Julian left his phone on the counter to grab the mail. Elena's heart hammered against her ribs. She didn't want to find anything, but she was desperate for the truth. She saw a notification, a name she didn't recognize, a simple message. "Are we still on for Friday?" In that moment, Elena had a choice. She could wait for him to come back and ask, "Julian, who is this?" She could choose transparency, but she was too afraid of a lie. So she made the misstep. She decided to play detective instead of being a partner. She didn't confront him. She memorized the number and she began a plan that would change everything. Elena created a persona, a fake social media profile, a stranger. She told herself this was her only option. If Julian was a good man, he'd ignore the stranger's messages. If he was a cheater, she'd have her proof. She started small, a wrong number text, a compliment on his recent architectural project. She waited for him to shut it down, but he didn't. Julian replied. At first, it was professional, but the stranger was interested in his work in a way Elena hadn't been in months. The stranger asked about his dreams. The stranger listened. For 2 weeks, Elena lived a double life. By day, she was the quiet, dutiful wife. By night, she was the stranger, flirting with her own husband. She was addicted to the pain of his betrayal. Every time Julian laughed at a joke the stranger made, Elena died a little inside. But then, something strange happened. Julian started talking to the stranger about Elena. He told the stranger, "My wife is incredible, but I feel like I've lost her. I feel like she's judging me all the time. I'm so lonely in my own house." Elena sat in the dark, reading her husband's heartbreak through a screen. For a second, she felt a wave of hope. He still loved her. He was just lost. She almost deleted the account. She almost went downstairs to hold him, but the misstep had already taken hold. She needed to know exactly how far he'd go. She pushed. The stranger asked to meet. Friday night, the same Friday from the original text she'd seen. Friday arrived. Elena told Julian she was meeting a friend for dinner. Julian said he had a late meeting. Elena watched from the car as Julian walked into the bistro. He sat down, he smoothed his hair, he looked expectant. Elena's blood turned to ice. She had set the trap and her husband had walked right into it. Elena walked straight to his table. Julian looked up, his face draining of color. "Elena, what are you doing here?" Elena didn't scream. She threw her phone on the table. The screen was open to their conversation, the stranger's profile. "It was me, Julian. It was always me. I wanted to see if you'd show up. I wanted to see if you'd betray me." Julian didn't apologize. He didn't make an excuse. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. He placed it next to her phone. "The message you saw on my phone last week? It was from a jeweler, Elena. I was picking up the anniversary ring you wanted 3 years ago, the one I finally saved enough to buy." He looked at the phone, at the trap she had laid, and then back at her. "I came here tonight because the stranger told me she was a counselor. She told me she could help me figure out how to talk to my wife again. I wasn't looking for an affair, Elena. I was looking for a way back to you. But I realize now you weren't waiting for me. You were waiting for me to fail." The marriage didn't end because of a message. It didn't even end because Julian went to that bistro. It ended because the trust wasn't just broken, it had been weaponized. Julian couldn't unsee the trap. He couldn't look at Elena without wondering if every conversation was a test, if every look was an interrogation. Elena realized too late that her detective work was actually a self-fulfilling prophecy. She was so afraid of being sabotaged that she became the saboteur. They separated 2 months later, not because of a lack of love, but because of a lack of safety. The single biggest misstep you can make in your marriage isn't failing to communicate, it's choosing surveillance over vulnerability. Narrator, when you start testing your partner, you've already decided they aren't worth trusting. You can't find the truth by lying. If you're feeling distance, don't go looking for a gotcha moment. Go looking for your partner, because the moment you treat your spouse like a suspect, you stop being their sanctuary. If you were Julian, could you ever trust Elena again? Or was she right to test him given how distant he'd become? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.